And now let's move on to our debate for the day. These are candidates who are labelled by their looks. Their wardrobe is criticised. Snide comments about their husband, their father or brother are often used to bait them. And then their morality is questioned. But rarely, very rarely will you ever hear a woman Neta being questioned about her stand on an issue, about policy making that she was part of. Today on The Last Word, we ask why. Why are our Netas stooping so low to woo voters? Why are parties across the board playing deaf and blind to excesses by the Netas? And more importantly, are these Netas worthy of your vote? Those are the questions that we'll put to our panelists. But first, quick look at this report.
First, it was the father. And after he was barred by the EC from campaigning for 72 hours, it was the turn of his son.
होली और दिवाली और ईद के नाम पर लड़ने वाला नहीं तो आपके एक साहब ने अली और बजरंग बली का झगड़ा करा दिया। मैं कहना चाहता हूं आपसे, अली भी हमारे, बजरंग बली भी हमारे, अली भी हमारे, बजरंग बली भी हमारे। हमें अली भी चाहिए, बजरंग बली भी चाहिए, लेकिन अनारकली नहीं चाहिए। अली भी चाहिए, बजरंग बली भी चाहिए, लेकिन अनारकली हमें नहीं चाहिए।
At the receiving end, actor turned politician Jaya Prada, who says she's disappointed and shocked.
Azam Khan's son has passed another remark, and they are continuously passing some remarks. What is your take on that?
It's very unfortunate, I can say. Azam Khan Sahab, maybe we can expect that he will do these kind of things, but not the young boy who has to lead the society in a good way. But Abdullah is coming in a wrong way, and he is influenced by his father's language.
Correct.
And today even Abdullah is not sparing me. So I don't know where I am in this.
Administration has also registered a case against him.
I wish that they should do all the respective the control, because of this. But tomorrow is the deadline for our elections, and tomorrow everybody is going to vote, and tomorrow is a very big day for us. So I feel that this kind of things to be condemned, and I feel Abdullah has to learn to give respect to the women, and particularly he is like my son or like my Samrat. I look like that, but he is not taking care of the women, and the way he is giving the comments on me, I don't think so. It's a fair thing for him, and he should learn to give respect to the women particularly.
Yes,
Police have now filed an FIR against Abdullah Azam Khan, but the Samajwadi Party is yet to take any action or even issue a statement. Earlier this year, Congress Sajjan Singh Verma and BJP's Kailash Vijayvargiya courted controversy by making sexist remarks about Hema Malini and Priyanka Gandhi. So tonight, Mirror now asks, why is political discourse hitting new lows every day this election season? Why are parties playing deaf and blind to excesses by their Netas? Are these Netas worthy of your vote? Let's debate.
Joining us on the panel tonight, Gopal Agarwal, spokesperson of the BJP, Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Rajesh Sundaram, senior journalist, Karuna Nandi, who's a lawyer with the Supreme Court. Also, shortly, Pallavi Sharma, spokesperson of the Congress, will be joining us. I will begin with all our party spokespersons. Simple question to each one of you. How do you explain such comments by your own candidates? How do you explain them away? And why aren't your parties taking any action against them? Ghanshyam Tiwari, we'll begin with you.
Well, I believe that there is no good explanation for anything which is sexist. Does not matter which party, which candidate, or even which person in public life or not in public life. Second, I believe election and democratic dialogue is an open dialogue. People are watching and people are the best judge. So we believe that every time somebody makes a poor statement, a statement that stands in poor taste, no matter what party spokesperson say, not say, it is eventually the people who make up their mind and they are free to not get convinced. The parties seek an explanation for anybody who crosses the line. That explanation is presented to the people by the party, by the spokespersons. But beyond that, beyond making the people who make such statements really give their explanation, parties allow people to take their own judgment, because politics is a public dialogue, and every leader has a public profile that is defined by what they do and what they say.
In this case, was either Azam Khan or Abdullah Khan asked to give an explanation by the party? What was the explanation that they gave?
Well, Mr. Azam Khan has given a very public explanation the moment the first incident broke out. And if you follow the Rampur politics, there is an open abuse game that is going on. Amar Singh calling him Mahishasur, that, and all kinds of names, not just now, even before. So there is a poor tutu meme that is ensuing in Rampur between the candidates, between the associates of the candidates, and as a result, things have been said that should not have been said. Leaders have, at least in Samajwadi Party, Azam Khan ji explained his first statement, and I do see that that did not convince a lot of people. There was a public response, and as a party, we faced that public response.
Gopal Agarwal, how do you explain what some of the comments by your senior most leaders?
We have those comments which are given by some of the leaders which party doesn't agree with. They have been, the party has said that we do not align with them, and they are their personal comment. They have even come out with an explanation, and they have asked for a public apology for those statements that has been there with some of the leaders. With regard to others, those are borderline. For them, party has given them a warning that please desist from this kind of statement, and party is also watching them that they do not privately also through phone calls and through senior leaders. We have been talking to them that don't go for statements which are divisive or other thing. But as far as some of the statements which are parties stand, for them we don't think whether other parties agree or not. But if we have some stand on the with regard to our manifesto or with our ideology, we stand by them. First and foremost that I would like to mention is that there has been a divisive politics being played in India under the name of secularism, and highly communal politics was being played for some quarters, some opposition parties. We completely denounce, and to denounce that and to cut that, we have to come out with the factual statement that we do not think that that in itself that party does not stand for. Therefore, we have to deal with all the issues in a separate way.
Gopal Agarwal, you said, one second.
Does not agree.
Gopal
we have
Agarwal,
asked the candidate to come out with
right.
Yes.
Gopal Agarwal, you said two things.
They have done it.
You said two things. You said warnings have been issued. Please name the Netas to whom warnings have been issued. Second, you said that the party does, 1 second. You also said that the party does not stand by the comments or because it's been made in public, but they are your representatives. They are the ones you are fielding for the election. Why shouldn't the party stand by what the person is saying, or the person should not have said it at all?
No, party can stand only for the spokesperson, because party stand is comes out through the spokesperson. We are briefed every day, we have a discussion, we talk to the leaders, and according to that we frame our response to issues, and based on that we come out with the media and public. So party spokespersons are the authorized person to speak on a policy matter or a policy party stand. With regard to office bearers also, there are certain restrictions, but still the party stands by them, and if party finds that those statements are not up to the mark, then it
no,
is
who have you issued
individually
warnings to?
we talk
Who
to
have
them.
you
It
issued
is not
warnings
that,
to?
Publicly we can.
Right. Who has the party issued
No,
warnings to?
many
Give
of
us the
people,
names of
we
at least
have,
2 or 3 of the
continuously
leaders.
tried to. No. Many of the things, otherwise, the first and foremost was Pragya Singh Thakur. The day she came out with a statement, within 2 hours, our party official spokesperson, Mr. Anil Baluni, came out with a statement that it is her personal statement and party does not stand by her and considers Hemant Karkare as martyr. Then in the evening she withdrew her statement and then she is apologized for that. So this is the way the party functions. It's a 11 crore members are there. It's a large party which is
Right.
ruling.
Gopal
at
Agarwal, I'll need to bring in the other panelists over here.
central
I'll need to
also.
bring in the other
So
panelists over here.
Many people are there who
Gopal
come out
Agarwal,
with
I'm sorry, but
their views.
somehow that doesn't sound like a warning to me. Let me bring in the other panelists. Pallavi Sharma, since you just joined us, let me repeat the question to you. We keep coming across sexist comments made by our Netas, and this is cutting across party lines. These Netas do not specifically belong to one party only. My question to you is this today: how is it that parties allow something like this? How do the parties explain one of their representatives going out and speaking like this in public? And have you in the Congress party taken any action against Netas who go around talking like this?
You know, Kavita, first and foremost, as a young politician also, I think it's highly condemnable, the quality of political discourse that we're witnessing in the country in the last 5 years, from where we've seen it has stooped from bad to worse. And is at a stage where you have none other than the Prime Minister himself coming out and making misogynistic statements against women, tagging somebody a 50,000
No,
crore
let's talk about the
girlfriend,
Congress party.
or, you know, calling women Jersey cow, or mocking at the widow status of a woman. No, let me respond. Let me respond, Kavita. I am showing bipartisanship here and saying, whether it comes out from any political party or any political leader, no matter what the stature of that political leader is, it is highly condemnable.
Except Congress.
I am saying it, being a responsible spokesperson for my Congress party, even if it comes from the Congress party, Mr. Gopal Agarwal, it's highly condemnable. The only difference is that when it comes from the Congress party, we take action, we take cognizance of it, and BJP tries to brush it under the carpet. Now, when Mr. Gopal Agarwal says that we do not care, there are certain statements that we make which represent our ideology and depict our ideology, I think it's very important that we should read between the lines what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that they do not give two hoots about the election.
Pallavi Sharma, what action did you take against Sajjan Singh Agarwal? Pallavi Sharma, or Sajjan Singh Verma, what action did the Congress take against Sajjan Singh Verma?
Let me respond, Kavita. First and foremost, even if it was a leader as the stature of Mr. Punia, the Congress party went all out, and my party president took to social media on Twitter and said that Mr. Punia should come out and apologize. And Mr. Punia did apologize. And there are several instances. For that instance, you can take the example of Mr. Iyer also, Manishankar Iyer. He had to apologize. He was made to discharge from the functions of the party until and unless an inquiry was pending against him. But can we name one leader from the BJP where an inquiry has been initiated?
Tell me, Sajjan Singh Verma and K. Sudhakaran, what action was taken against them? What action was taken against Sajjan Singh Verma and K. Sudhakaran?
As far as, no, 1 second. Yes, as far as Mr. Sudhakaran is concerned, he has come on record and said the Congress party did seek a clarification from him. He has come on record and said that he was misquoted and his statement was blown out of context. The poster that he put was pertaining to one specific woman, which was wrongly translated in English from the language that the poster was actually written in. Having said that, Kavita, if you'll just give me 10 uninterrupted seconds, which I've not got, I've answered all your questions. Just give me 10 seconds. Now, Mr. Gopal Agarwal here was talking about hate and divisive politics that is being spread. What about Menaka Gandhi? She has been given a notice by Election Commission and action was taken against her. She was stopped from carrying on her election campaign for 48 hours. What about Adityanath? What about Satpal Singh Satti? Now, Mr. Gopal Singh Agarwal can sit on your panel, inflate his chest and point fingers at the Congress, but has no responsibility for his own party. No, Mr. Sidhu has not been stopped. There has been no action against him. Please get your facts correct, sir. In fact, there was nothing wrong that the Election Commission found.
No,
in
he
Mr.
has been
Sidhu's
debarred for
statement. Don't mislead
72
the audience
hours.
sitting on the national
No,
television.
we just put that out. He's been debarred from campaigning for 72 hours. Pallavi Sharma.
Oh,
Let
he
me go
has
to the
been
other
debarred for
panelists.
72
No, let me go
hours.
to the other
As far
panelists.
as-
Our discussion over
No,
here.
no, no,
I'm
Kavita,
sorry,
one
our
second.
discussion
Kavita,
over
one
here is
second.
not
You
about
are
divisive
another
politics.
liar
We are
that the
talking about the
Congress always,
personal comments, the sexist
for.
comments that our Netas are making on women candidates. Karuna Nandi, as
Then
a
we should
woman,
maybe, Kavita,
as
start
one
with the
second, one second. Karuna Nandi, as a woman, as a voter, would you want to go and vote for Netas like this? For Netas who do not even think it is necessary to respect a woman?
Well, that would be my personal opinion. I would rather speak as a lawyer, because I think that the law is being flouted continually and consistently. There was a judgment of 7 judges, where 7 judges spent a lot of time of the Supreme Court and deliberated over whether you can speak to the electorate and ask for votes by saying that, can you ask for votes saying that I am a Hindu, therefore vote for me, or can you ask for votes saying that you are a Hindu and vote for me? And the answer to both questions is no. And what is interesting is that during that hearing in Abhiram Singh, the fine aspects of the law were sort of gone into, and there were various scenarios that were put out. And it was quite clear that the Constitution seeks to establish a sort of nation which is undivided and a voter that is voting on issues. And today we see that, Yogi Adityanath is going around asking for votes in the name of Hanumanji, in the name of Bajrangbali, and rejecting the prophets of others and rejecting the gods of others. And it's really a free-for-all. And yes, there's been a 72-hour suspension on his campaigning, but really the deed is done. And perhaps the cost-benefit analysis was worth it for him. So I think the kind of comments that Netas are making can be divided into 2 categories. One is the kind of comment that splits the nation. When you have Amit Shah, for example, on April 11th, saying that we will root out every infiltrator. However, every Hindu, Jain, Buddhist, Sikh who is a refugee will get citizenship, The implication, of course, being that you will be ousted if you're a Muslim, if you can't show a variety of the correct papers, right? And so that's one category. The second category, I think, is the sexism. And since you've asked me the question, I'll spend a very brief time on it, which is that, of course, I would not wish to vote for someone like that. But there are people like Atishi Marlena standing from East Delhi. There are people like Kanhaiya Kumar standing from Begusarai. There are a number of people who stand for the constitutional values in this country. I also think that Priyanka Gandhi is somebody who seems extremely promising and courageous. And there are people there to vote for. However, I don't think, again, that sexism is restricted to one party. It's true that sexism is across parties, but where are the structural mechanisms? Where is the abiding by the law, by the Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act, which requires every single workplace to have more than 10 employees, which all our political parties have more than 10 people working full-time for them, because the word employee is very loosely defined. And they don't have ICCs. The BJP does not have an internal complaints committee. The Congress does not have an internal complaints committee, as far as I know. The CPIM does, and the Aam Aadmi Party does.
Right.
But the BJP refused to constitute one, even in response to its minister Menaka Gandhi's notice to them. So it defied its own government in its sexism and its refusal to address the sexism. So frankly, I think in terms of violation of rule of law and in terms of so the requirement of structures, this is something that is extremely important. Both the dividing of the electorate on the basis of religion and the insulting and maligning of women candidates and the female electorate.
Precisely, and these are the very parties that have been promising us 33% reservation in the parliament. Rajesh Sundaram, let me bring you in. You've covered many an election, and we have a very interesting.
And I've ignored it. It's just lip service.
Yeah, we have a very interesting situation over here where all the parties are unanimous in the fact that sexism is something to be frowned upon. But tell us, in your experience, has any party ever taken a stand against a Neta who's being blatantly sexist?
Well, I haven't seen that, and for these Netas who are campaigning out in their far out small constituencies, the one way to grab all the national attention is to make a statement which polarizes voters or which is sexist. And that is picked up by the media, and that is the oxygen that they need to thrive. And I think the political parties may come out with official spokespeople who will condemn it and all of that. But I think they have, from the leadership, from the very top, a wink and a nod to just continue with what they're doing. Because not only do they get the oxygen of publicity, for the small constituencies and small leaders that they are, but also they are able to get their agenda of polarization, get their agenda of discrediting through these dubious means their opponents, which they are very successful in, or at least they think they would be, and they think the voters are stupid enough to accept that. But I think the biggest issue here is that no action is taken against them, despite all of what is said by the spokespeople and things like that. These people will be barred for a few hours, and they'll continue making those statements again, because they know who they are targeting. They know that if they make those communal statements, they would be able to get their desired effect. And like one of the panelists said, if they've said it, regardless of whether the party apologized, they apologize, the damage is already done, and they've got that massive publicity, both through their social media cells and the social media cells of their opponents, who blow it right out of proportion, and millions of people know about it. They believe that there is nothing like negative publicity. Publicity is publicity, and they've got all the spotlight on them. So clearly, I think media as a role, when somebody comes out with a statement like this, of course, the agencies, the police, the others should take action against them. But the media has a responsibility of not blowing this up into out of proportion, because then the other leaders know that this is what they have to do to grab the headlines in a situation where there are hundreds of leaders across the country, many of them much taller than them, who are getting all the media attention.
Right. In fact, that is something, Rajesh, I would like to ask you another question on. You said, you talked about the media blowing things out of proportion. But the fact is, how do you report something like this and not blow it out of proportion? Are you saying that we stop reporting this?
Don't use their names.
What they're looking for,
like Jacinda Ardern did not use the terrorist's name. Don't use their names.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, Ghanshyam Tiwari, is that the reason why parties let their Netas go and shoot their mouth off? Because you know that there will be little action, because you know that by the time there is some action, that soundbite or that comment would have already gone viral, and a lot of people would have seen it, and you've got the publicity that you needed?
Well, there is no honor and publicity and political capital in abusive language, especially when it becomes personal. And it's not there for the leader, it's not there for the party. As far as hate campaigns are concerned, we have seen 5 years of Modi Raj, and we have seen the political capital of hate campaigns, and we have seen the rise of Yogi Adityanath or Pragya Singh Thakur as purely out of the ladder of hate campaign. So clearly you can bucket it in two parts, but I do not think that as far as personal attacks go, personal attacks bring any glory to anybody. They are a downhill track, and in today's day and world, politics is not in closed doors. It is out in the open. It's a very equal dialogue. As a leader, you can't just go give gyan and walk away. On your Facebook, on your Twitter, people are writing to you on a very equal platform, and you say one thing, people will say another thing, and you can't take your followers for granted. So I believe again, that leaders have to mind their words, because everything everything adds up and diminishes your public stature in the end. As a party, we have gone an extra mile to present ourselves to the women of the country, particularly women of Uttar Pradesh, to
Set up an
say specific
ICC?
things that we
Have
want to
you
do.
set up
All
an
those things
ICC?
will be meaningless if
Ghanshyam
our
Tiwari?
leaders.
I'm sorry, I'm cutting into
No,
you.
we have not.
Have you set up an ICC?
We have to do extra steps as a party, as process. What I was talking about was particularly on the vision document, not in terms of all the processes that have been fulfilled.
Well, you know, I believe it should at least begin at home, and you should try setting up an ICC.
With
BJP.
respect to you and the respect with which you speak of women, that's one thing. But Mulayam Singh Yadav had said, when boys rape, galti ho jati hai, you know. And there was very little that was done, you know, to sort of tell the electorate that his mind had been changed. And frankly, there were certain things that were being said. So people like Gaurav Bhatia, who was the spokesperson at the time of the SP, in television channels was saying one thing, whereas in the sort of electorate, in the large speeches in the large maidans, Mulayam Singh Yadav was saying that there are false cases of rape have taken over, that there was very, very misogynist statements were being made. And also when you say that, I wish I could agree with you that hate speech is something that the electorate does not vote for, but there are various studies that show that when you stir up people's emotions in this false way and you say things that like you are under threat, you know, when you say things like Hindu khatre mein hai, that, you know, somebody's out to get you and we will protect you, that very often that they win votes from it. And I think that Kavita asked a very important question, and it would be interesting for all of us to think a little bit about that, which is that how do you highlight these issues without giving these people the oxygen of publicity? Because of course there is a way that, Advani ji made way for Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi makes way for Yogi Adityanath. Yogi Adityanath makes way for Pragya Thakur. And so goes the downward slide into greater and greater and greater hatred. And perhaps one way to report it is to report the party, to report the speech, but not report the otherwise irrelevant speaker who is making it. Though, of course, I mean, maybe blur the face. I don't know. This is something that you all would have to think about. That, you know, that we should all think about, really, because there is an atmosphere of increasing and spiraling hatred that is not being checked by the Election Commission, that is not being checked in this election.
But Karuna, let's come back. Let's bring our debate back to its focus, and that is the sexist comments by Netas. 1 second. Let's bring it back to topic, because I do not have too much time left. Gopal Agarwal, Karuna Nandi pointed out something very important. The fact that both our national parties, BJP and the Congress, do not have ICCs. Why does the BJP not have an ICC, despite the fact that your very own minister had written a letter to all political parties asking them to set up an ICC?
No, what Bharatiya Janata Party is like a large family. We work as a close-knit structure where we consider everybody a part of a larger
the largest number of rapes happen within families.
In that sense. So if there are issues, but there are issues, the way party handles the issues, there are disciplinary
How do you handle the issue?
There are already
How do you handle the issue?
Where these kind of things, there are disciplinary committees, and there are legal structures also. I don't think in any near future any of the case like this has come to a light where there is a kind of exploitation on these issues. If there are some issues, we definitely have taken actions against them, and the legal course is also there, and the party supports them. So as far as our party is concerned, we have a very disciplined cadre.
So you don't need an ICC, is that what you're trying to tell us? Are you trying to tell us your party is beyond reproach and you all do not need an ICC?
No, I'm not telling. I'm not telling. No, you are talking what is their structure at present. What should be structure in future, what new things should be made. I am not denying it, and I don't have yet that authority to tell what will be in the future course
Gopalji,
of
your
action.
party
But what I
president
tell
has
you
been
is
saying things that are in violation
we
of
have
law,
disciplinary committees.
Right. So clearly, Gopal Agarwal, you do not.
What violation of law?
Who has taken action
Gopal
against
Agarwal.
Amit Shah? Okay, the Representation of People Act
Yes,
120, Section
we have,
123, when he said
wherever
in
there
his
were
tweet
complaints
as well as
against
his
any of
speech on
the-
April 11th that we will root out infiltrators except Hindus, Buddhists, Jains,
Right, right.
etc.
Karuna Nandi, I'm afraid
was,
I have
according
to,
to me, in
interrupt
violation of
over there.
Section
Very
123
little time
of the
left.
That is the
Representation of
Very
difficult
little
issue
time
that
left.
I
Let
told
me
you
give the
that
Congress spokesperson
ideology-
chance to
we
speak.
stand by
Gopal
that. That is
Agarwal,
not
clearly,
illegal.
the sum and substance of
No,
what you just told us
no,
is
no,
that the
what I
BJP
would
does
like
not
to
have an
tell here
ICC.
is-
Let me
No,
bring in.
I am very
Let me
categorically
bring
said
in.
that
Let me also bring in the
I-
Congress spokesperson over here, Pallavi Sharma. Why does the Congress, the grand old party as it likes to call itself, why does it not have an ICC?
Well, Kavita, the Congress party has an organizational structure in place to look after the sexual harassment complaints. Yes, as far as a solid legal structure such as the ICC is concerned, the Congress party is on its way to forming one. But we do have an organization in place headed by Ms. Sushmita Dev, the All India Mahila Congress President, who looks after that organization committees, and any complaints pertaining to sexual harassment goes to that. Yes, we are planning to set up an ICC and put it in place as soon as we can do it. It's only a legal proper framework structure that needs to get into its shape. Otherwise, there is an organization in Congress party that looks after these complaints.
You know, Rajesh Sundaram, closing comments from you, but it's interesting how all our parties tend to speak in the present continuous tense when you ask them about an ICC. It is always something that they are planning to do.
Well, I think the old mindsets, the misogynistic mindset, or the hatred, the communal mindset continues. So that's something which is part of the core ideology of some parties. And also, ahead of the elections, there'll be very little that is done. So if at all there is any expectation, it should be post the elections, and that too, if there is a clear political will, which I think is clearly lacking when it comes to these issues.
Right. And at the end, all that I would like to say is this, that our parties would do well to realize that while our parties know the fact that there is a significant part of the voter bank this time, vote base this time, are the youth. It would do well for all our parties to realize that of this youth, a significant portion, 50% in fact, are young, educated women. Women who are aware of their rights, women who are aware of where they stand. And this is the voter base that you are not talking to. While earlier, crass comments on a woman, on the way she looked, on the way she walked, on the way she dressed, on who her husband or her father was, would have got you votes. This time, that may not really work, because there are a lot of women out there who are going to cast their vote, and they will be weighing every word that you're speaking before they go out and cast their vote. Think twice before you open your mouth. It's time that you wake up and smell the coffee. Thank you for joining us. Stay with us. More news after this break.